What is good stuff, family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and many other tickers, what's happening with the overall market, and break down some big news that just came out that's hurting the markets to some extent, and another catalyst that's causing the whole market to slow down as we saw some big policy changes in China. But before I break down what's going on in China, what's going on with the overall market, and why this is affecting Tesla, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, in just about 7 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market and Tesla. Tesla's down 3% in the pre-market, continuing to drop. But the question is, can Tesla try to hold support or not? And how is it looking so far? But if you look at the market, SPY is also dropping right now, continuing to look relatively weak. So is Apple, and Apple is the stock that's leading the way as we had some big news that just came out. So I'm going to break down why on earth Apple is dropping so hard, why this is affecting the whole market, and what other piece of news is affecting the market too. So the first piece of news would be initial jobless claims. This was a little bit negative for the markets because the overall initial jobless claims report showed 216,000 initial jobless claims. The consensus in the forecast showed we wanted between 235 to 240,000. The last time it came out, it was 230,000. This time it's only 216,000. That tells us that the labor market is still showing some strength. It is not as weak or as tight as what the Fed wants, and the Fed is being more incentivized to raise rates again. The non-farm productivity Q over Q was also up about, it was very, very close to the forecast, so that was actually okay. But the unit labor cost Q over Q were up by 2.2%, a little bit hotter than expected. So once again, there's signs that so far the overall economy is still not tightening enough, and the Fed is being incentivized to raise rates even more, and that is not what the market wanted. We also have this big piece of news involving Apple that just came out. Apple shares are falling as the Chinese government has announced that it is banning iPhone use by governmental officials. This is some huge news because this may strain the relationship between the US and China, US companies and Chinese companies, and also Apple with its competitors in China. So this is very, very big. This is leading to more tensions. And with the government announcing this and incentivizing people to use their own local products, it's just not the best of news for Apple or any other companies out there. So this is why Apple is starting to sink very, very hard. There's more fear that's basically arising because of this, and this is having a big effect on the whole market, right? Especially other companies that are involved with China. Now, when it comes to big news affecting the markets, we have a slow September, nothing out of the ordinary. That's what tends to happen in September. We have some airline warnings because jet fuel prices have spiked, and this is leading to prices potentially going up. Roku is laying off about 10% of its workforce. That's very important. That just shows the slowing of the economy and how this is affecting many different software companies and companies like Roku. And there's more talk about the virus returning as we're seeing more and more cases and potential hospitalizations increasing. So, not the best of news. I just want the best for everyone. I want everyone to stay safe and just know that this is all very important news. Last but not least, for Tesla, I didn't see any major headlines as of right now at the time I am recording this video. I haven't seen anything too big. I just want to mention that there's more talks about the Gigafactory in Mexico, and it could be coming out a little bit later than expected. But once again, it's still going to be coming out, so that's still great nonetheless overall for the long term. So, anyways, let's talk about what's going on with the market. When it comes to SPY, first off, this is looking a little bit weak, continuing to free fall. We're not ready to bounce just yet. We're getting very close to this level right here to form like a bottom, very close to about 442, maybe a little bit below that. If that fails us, then 440 is going to be on the table, and we will see if SPY could bounce off one of those levels. Those are going to be some important levels to watch for when it comes to support. Now, what concerns me about Tesla would be we have a potential inverse cup and handle that could be forming, and we're going to be watching 242 on Tesla. It's going to be a very critical level. When we open watch for it to try to retest 245, it might reject and start coming down. And we're going to be watching 244. If that fails us, 240, 242 is going to be critical for Tesla. If that breaks, there's a risk of Tesla coming all the way down to not just 240, but potentially even 235 to 237. This could become more bearish for Tesla, so we have to watch this carefully and be very, very mindful. Now, from a technical standpoint, it could be argued that Tesla's making an attempt to form a divergence, but it isn't really doing that just yet. The best thing to do is to be patient and watch and see where it goes. Currently, the 30 minutes time frame is a little bit more bearish for Tesla. It needs to continue to hold up and see this curl for us to change our sentiment. So it is favoring the bears a little bit more. So we're going to be watching that test of 242. There is this inverse cup and handle that concerns me a little bit. So we might see this cause Tesla to slow down. So watch 242 if that breaks on Tesla. If we're going to likely see it sink all the way down to 240 or back into like the high 230s, like 237, 235 become real possibilities if we break below 242 and then 240. So watch those supports very carefully. Watch 245 and then 248 as our major resistance levels. And as of right now, it is favoring the bears a little bit more in the pre-market because we had some bad news from initial jobless claims and Aapl. So just want to warn you guys about these levels. No promises could be made as we have some bad news, and that could be a little tricky to predict. So be very careful. As far as Aapl goes, it's trying to hold 176, but it's just barely holding it. We have stronger support at 175, so we're going to be watching 175 as critical support. If that breaks, then 174 and then 173.25 are all possibilities. This does look relatively weak. It's continuing to free fall. It looks like it may break below 176, and this could slow the market down as soon as we open. Be very careful with Aapl. Aapl is acting as an anchor that's slowing the market down. 175 is going to be a key support. We'll see if Aapl could try to hold that or not. It's already kind of like very oversold, but it's continuing to drop because of bad news. There is technically a falling wedge developing on Aapl, but there's no sign it's just bottoming just yet. So we want to be patient with this. There's a bullish divergence developing, but we need to see it hold 176 and start bouncing from here. As of right now, there's no true signal of that. So we have to wait and see how it moves. It looks like it may break below 176, though, drop a little bit lower before we do get any kind of bounce. It does look a little weak for now, in my opinion. The QQQ is also starting to sell off. We're going to be watching this thing at 368 and 366 as critical supports and 365. For resistance, watch 370, 372.5, 374 above that. How is this looking? It's looking kind of weak right now, trying to get its way back up to like 371, but it's starting to reject. Not looking too strong. It may continue to drop. The technicals are looking a little bit more bearish on the 30 minutes time frame. Aapl played a big role in dragging this market down. So it's unfortunate. It is what it is, though. We have to be calm, cool, and collected nonetheless. For Nvda, it's continuing to free fall. We're going to be watching 455 as support. Then below that, we have 448s to 450 as our key supports down here. We have some strong support right there. Nvidia is continuing to fall. We do have a potential falling wedge developing, but there's no sign of it breaking out just yet. There's a bullish divergence developing, but like I said before, it's in the process of developing, so it hasn't fully developed just yet. And we have to wait and see if we could get a big bounce first for it to play out. As of right now, it's not doing that. Nvidia is still starting to fall, so we want to watch 455. That breaks, 450 to 448 are all on the table. For resistance, watch 470. 460, then 465 are going to be the resistance levels. For now, I'm just going to be very patient and watch it. It is looking a little weak so far in the pre-market. Please watch your levels and just know that there was bad news that came out. The VIX is pushing, nothing out of the ordinary. The dollar is breaking above 105 and trying to hold it. If that holds and starts pushing, that's going to be another negative catalyst. Anyways, guys, hopefully this video was helpful. I do apologize for uploading this kind of late, but do what you have to do, guys. Watch your levels carefully and just know we have this very, very important catalyst that came out. In my videos from yesterday, there's no way I could have predicted that this news would come out. This news came out after I recorded my video very, very late at night yesterday. So that's why it's very, very important for the markets to pay attention to news and account for the news as soon as you can, as soon as news comes out. Okay. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Do what you have to do. Watch your levels, watch the dollar and the VIX if you can. And I want the best for everyone. So take care, be patient in the market like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you and peace out.